What if I told you that the secret to unlocking your brain's natural rhythm doesn't actually involve like a dense textbook or flashcards?
Oh, definitely not a textbook.
Right. Instead, it involves a cartoon rock having a full-blown existential crisis, a tin can playing therapist, and a toddler casually announcing a bodily function on a live microphone.
I mean, I know it sounds like a recipe for a completely derailed lesson, but it's actually this brilliant window into how human beings actually learn, when we strip away the artificial pressure of a classroom setting.
That is exactly where we are heading on today's deep dive. So welcome in.
Glad to be here.
Today we're doing something really fun. We are analyzing a charming, entirely unscripted YouTube storytime session. It's by a creator named Mr. K.
Yeah, he sits down with some kids to read a children's book called Ricky the Rock that just couldn't rhyme.
Written by Ricky the Rock with Mr. J, and illustrated by Aaron Walk. And our mission today is really to zero in on a few things. We want to break down exactly how this book explains the mechanics of rhymes. We'll extract the sort of accidental poetry hidden inside its pages.
The best kind of poetry, honestly.
Exactly. And most importantly for you listening, we're going to pull out simple, fun, rhyming activities from this source material that you can easily weave into your own daily life.
Because, we often think of language acquisition or practicing grammar as this highly structured, almost sterile engineering project.
Oh, totally. Like you get a rule, you memorize it, you apply it.
Right. You just memorize subject, verb, object, and hope for the best.
But the real-world application of language is incredibly noisy. It's chaotic.
And this source material proves that the chaos isn't a distraction from the learning. It's actually the very environment where the deepest cognitive connections are made.
So true. So let's start with how the book defines the challenge. We are introduced to Ricky, who is rolling through school. And Ricky is undeniably a STEM guy.
Oh, yeah. Big science and math guy.
He loves math, he loves science. Gym class is exciting because, well, he's a rock, so he can roll.
Makes sense.
But he hits an absolute brick wall when he gets into reading and writing class, and the teacher announces it's time to learn how to rhyme.
Which is such a common experience. I mean, Ricky represents a very specific type of learner.
The kind who needs logic.
Exactly. He feels completely anchored in logic-based or physical domains, places where the rules are rigid and the outcomes are predictable.
All right, 2 plus 2 is always 4.
Yeah. But the moment he steps into a linguistic task, all that predictability just vanishes.
Well, the teacher tries to give him a pretty straightforward definition. She says, and this is the book's core definition, rhyme is when words all have the same sound.
A good baseline.
Yeah, but then she rapid fires these incredibly vivid, almost absurd examples to explain it. She talks about oodles of poodles and noodles.
The imagery is great.
She mentions freshly baked warm apple strudels. And my personal favorite visual, she claims that a bear with no fashion flair would eat an eclair on a dare.
It's so specific.
It is. Okay, let's unpack this, because I'm struggling with this teaching method just a little bit.
Oh, so?
Well, rhyming is basically a sonic matching game, right? It's pattern recognition for your ears. So how does visualizing a bear in a terrible outfit eating a French pastry actually help a learner process the audio matching of flair, eclair, and dare?
I see what you mean.
Because visuals and audio are processed entirely differently in the brain, aren't they?
What's fascinating here is the cognitive bridging that the book is doing. You're pointing out a really crucial gap.
Okay.
See, phonemic awareness, which is the ability to hear, identify, and manipulate individual sounds, that's a highly abstract auditory concept.
Super abstract.
If a teacher just says, find words with matching ending phonetic structures, the learner's brain has absolutely nothing to grab onto. The abstract sound just floats away.
It's literally in one ear and out the other.
Right. But the visual of the bear eating an eclair, that changes the neural pathway entirely.
Oh, because it gives you a picture.
Exactly. The brain is incredibly adept at storing spatial and visual information. By taking a ridiculous, highly specific image and permanently linking it to the phonetic sound, the book anchors the auditory data to visual memory.
So the absurdity is sort of the glue.
The absurdity is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
glue. The brain loves novelty. When it encounters something unexpected, like, I don't know, oodles of fluffy poodles drowning in a bowl of noodles, it flags that information as important. It says, hey, this is worth remembering.
Wow. It makes the matching phonetic sounds completely inseparable from the WHY, the fun and humor of the image.
Yes.
You aren't just memorizing a dry rule, you're experiencing a tiny weird story.
which transforms a mechanical audio exercise into this rich multi-sensory experience. The learner isn't like straining to hear the vowel sound, they're just enjoying the mental picture, and the sound gets imputed almost by accident.
But even with those crystal clear, funny examples, Ricky still panics. The teacher gives the class an assignment: write a fun rhyming story before bedtime.
The dreaded homework assignment.
Right. And Ricky is instantly paralyzed with fright. He says his head is starting to spin. He turns to his friend, tests the tin, and complains, "What will I do now? I have to write rhymes and I just don't know how."
It's like classic stage fright, but in a classroom setting.
That's exactly it.
And the book is perfectly illustrating the neuroscience of performance anxiety here.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The moment a creative task becomes a mandate with a ticking clock, like write a story before bedtime, the brain literally interprets that deadline as a threat.
So the assignment triggers an actual physical reaction in the body.
Oh, absolutely. The amygdala, which is the brain's fear center, it just takes over. It starts releasing stress hormones like cortisol.
Wow.
And here's the mechanical issue. When the brain is in threat mode, it reroutes blood flow and metabolic energy away from the prefrontal cortex.
And that's the part that handles what? Creativity.
Right. Creative problem solving, language generation, nuanced thought, all of that energy gets redirected to the basic survival centers.
So his brain is literally shutting down the exact department he needs to write the poem.
Exactly. He cannot access his own vocabulary because his brain is busy preparing him to fight or flee from the homework assignment.
That is wild. Well, Tess the 10 steps in as, like, the ultimate life coach. She decides to help Ricky practice out in the real world on their way home.
Tess is great.
She is. And Ricky is so frustrated and so intensely focused on how much he cannot rhyme that he starts accidentally spitting perfect poetry.
It's so ironic.
Tess points to a truck. Ricky gets annoyed and says, "You mean the one that looks stuck in the muck with that duck? I can't think of a rhyme, but I wish him good luck."
Flawless rhythmic verse. And delivered entirely unconsciously.
And it continues. They pass a train yard, right? Tess asks what rhymes with a small red caboose. Ricky fires back. "You mean the one over there near that moose on the loose? I don't have a rhyme. I'm not Dr. Seuss. Let's give this up now. It's simply no use."
He's on a roll.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Ricky is literally speaking in perfect verse while aggressively complaining that he can't rhyme.
Yeah.
It reminds me of someone claiming they have absolutely zero musical talent while simultaneously perfectly tapping their foot to this highly complex jazz beat on the radio. Like, they have the rhythm, they just don't recognize it as a skill.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Ricky's accidental poetry reveals a profound truth about human language.
But yes.
Rhyming and rhythm are not alien concepts that we have to artificially install in our brains. They are innate linguistic tools that we use every single day.
We're already doing it.
Exactly. We speak in rhythmic chunks naturally. Our brains naturally gravitate toward cadence and phonetic symmetry just to make communication efficient.
So the skill isn't missing at all, it's just buried under the weight of the assignment.
The pressure of the explicit demand is the mental block. He's overthinking the rules, and that keeps his prefrontal cortex jammed. But when he is just conversing naturally, complaining to his friend, that conversational flow bypasses the threat response entirely.
He's not trying, so it works.
He stops trying to force the rhyme, and his natural linguistic rhythm just takes over. The barrier was never a lack of ability. It was purely the pressure to perform on command.
The minute you have to do something because someone told you to, you just forget how your own brain works.
Exactly.
But when you're just navigating your daily life, the competence is already there.
Yeah.
And honestly, that brings us to the most actionable part of the source material.
The real-world application.
Yes. Ricky's accidental rhyming out in the real world provides this amazing blueprint for how we can practice this. Let's extract the concrete, everyday rhyming activities demonstrated in this story time.
Let's do it.
Because these are fantastic tools you can use in your daily life, whether you are trying to help a child learn or just trying to keep your own brain sharp.
I mean, the creator of the video, Mr. K, alongside the book itself, they both offer a masterclass in informal play-based learning.
So let's look at how Tess triggers Ricky's poetry first. I'll call it the environment prompt.
I like that.
Tess just points out things. The cow in the field, the stuck truck, the red caboose. You can do this literally anywhere.
Anywhere at all.
Right, on a walk, on your commute. You point to an everyday object and try to match its sound. So why is this so much more effective than sitting down with a piece of paper and saying, okay, let's write a poem?
Well, it entirely removes the intimidation of the blank page.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, the blank page demands that you generate both the subject matter and the execution simultaneously. That is an enormous cognitive load.
You have to invent a universe and then describe it in perfect rhythm.
Right. But by using the environment provides the anchor. You see a tree, the subject is chosen for you.
The tree is just there.
Now your brain only has to perform one task, retrieving words that sound like tree. Be, see, free. It grounds the abstract concept of phonetic matching to a concrete physical object right in front of you.
The book actually has another visual variation of this that you can easily adapt for daily life.
The ladybug.
Yes, there is a character named Bria the Ladybug hidden on every single page of the book.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Exactly. And during the live story time, Mr. K had the kids hunt for her.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, where's the ladybug? Oh, she's on the noodle. Oh, she's on the bench.
Right.
If we combine that hidden object game with Tessa's environmental prompt, you get an incredible daily exercise.
Absolutely.
Pick a hidden object. Say, a red car while you're driving.
Right.
Or a stop sign. The moment you spot it, you have to immediately generate a rhyme for it. Car, star, far, sign, line, fine.
And by doing that, you're forcing the brain to build cognitive flexibility.
It's like a workout.
It really is. You are tasking the neural pathways to switch rapidly between visual processing, scanning the environment for the specific object, and auditory linguistic processing, generating the rhyme.
Wow.
Practicing that rapid context switching makes the brain incredibly nimble over time.
So we've got our physical environment working for us with those two games. But what about the emotional environment?
That's just as important.
Because Mr. K does something brilliant with the kids in the room, June and Frank, right after he finishes reading. He casually asks them, what are your favorite rhyming words?
I noticed that.
June instantly suggests cat, bat, sat. But I'm curious about his specific phrasing there. Why ask for a favorite word instead of just saying, hey, give me a rhyme?
This raises an important question about how we construct learning environments in general. Asking for a favorite word completely reframes the exercise.
In what way?
It transforms it from a test of knowledge, which carries the risk of failure, into a statement of preference, which literally cannot be wrong.
You can't fail at having a favorite thing.
Exactly. In pedagogy, we talk about something called the affective filter.
The affective filter. What is that?
It's the emotional barrier composed of anxiety, self-doubt, and fear of judgment that prevents learners from absorbing or producing new information.
Oh, like Ricky's amygdala hijacker of it.
Precisely. When Mr. K asks for a favorite, he lowers the affective filter to 0. He creates a state of psychological safety where the brain feels secure enough to actually play with language.
Which is deeply necessary because play inevitably leads to mistakes. And that takes us to Frank.
Oh, Frank.
Yes. When Mr. K asks Frank for his favorite rhyming words, Frank confidently shouts out, tiger and tiger.
Which is amazing.
He just repeats the exact same word. And then he follows it up with mountain and mouthin.
Mouthin.
Which is completely made up.
Okay.
I look at Frank's answers and I have to wonder, is a wrong answer in this context actually more valuable than if he had just said cat and hat perfectly?
Honestly, Frank's contributions are arguably the most critical educational moments in the entire video.
Really?
Yeah. If the brain learns through novelty and experimentation, a wrong answer represents a genuine attempt to map out the boundaries of a rule. Frank is actively testing the limits of phonetics.
He's throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks.
Exactly. And Mr. K's reaction is crucial here. How a mentor or a teacher handles the mistake determines everything that happens next.
So if he had shut him down,
if Mr. K had said, no, Frank, tiger and tiger is wrong, you fail, Frank's affective filter would shoot right back up. His brain would log the experience as a threat, and he would likely stay silent for the rest of the session.
But instead, Mr. K playfully leans into it. He says, well, tiger and tiger is the same word.
With a smile.
Right. And for mountain and mouthin, he gently says, I guess it rhymes, but it's not a word. He validates the attempt while casually adjusting the mechanics.
It's the yes-and approach applied to grammar. He demonstrates that practice should be a low-stakes, joyful exploration. If you demand perfection on the first try, you kill the desire to experiment.
And nothing screams joyful exploration quite like the most chaotic moment in the video.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Right in the middle of this beautiful, layered lesson about poetry and vulnerability, one of the kids casually announces on microphone, I don't need to go potty because I already farted.
It's so funny.
And Mr. K just smiles and rolls with it. It's hilarious, But it also proves that a sterile, perfectly controlled environment isn't actually ideal for learning.
No, no.
Life is messy. There will always be distractions.
Learning doesn't happen in a vacuum. The ability to maintain focus, acknowledge a disruption, laugh about it, and gently return to the task at hand, that's a vital skill.
Yeah.
It reinforces that the learning process is robust. It doesn't shatter just because someone makes a joke or loses focus for a second.
So true. And all of these daily life activities, the environmental prompts on a walk, lowering the emotional stakes with favorite words, embracing the messy mistakes like Frank's, they all build up to the core moral of Ricky's journey.
It all comes together.
Because Tess finally stops Ricky during their walk and points out what he's been doing.
She says, I guess you don't see, you've been rhyming all day. You're a natural kid. You're a lyrical pro.
And that realization just shatters his mental block. It really does. Ricky realizes that not trying was wrong, and he had no idea he could rhyme all along. He goes to school the next day and submits a story that is, quote, really sublime.
I love that for him.
Right. And then the book delivers Bria the Ladybug's golden rule for the entire narrative. She says we all have a talent that's hidden within, and it's easy to find if we dare to begin.
It's a really powerful synthesis. The book essentially uses the mechanics of rhyming as a vehicle for a much larger, universal truth about human capability.
Mr. K even drives this home after the book finishes. He asks the kids what they're good at. One of them mentions painting and drawing.
Yeah.
Mr. K points out to them that you wouldn't know you were good at painting unless you were brave enough to pick up the brush and try it first. So what does this all mean for us? Is the reluctance to try just a fear of failure, or is it deeper?
It's definitely deeper.
Because Ricky clung so tightly to his identity as the STEM rock. Are we just terrified of losing our established identities if we step into a space where we are beginners?
Identity protection is a massive factor. We build entire personas around what we are naturally good at.
Oh, sure. The math person, the athlete, the organized one.
Exactly. When we are faced with a task outside that zone, like Ricky in reading and writing class, we don't just fear getting a bad grade. We fear that struggling will invalidate our overall competence.
We'd rather not play the game at all than risk looking foolish.
But in protecting that ego, we leave vast reserves of innate talent completely undiscovered. The mental block isn't a lack of skill.
Ricky had the rhythm the whole time.
Exactly. The block is a lack of permission to be a beginner. It's the refusal to be messy.
To say tiger and tiger, realize it makes no sense, and survive the experience.
When Ricky stopped trying to perfectly execute an assignment and just allowed himself to engage with the world playfully, the poetry poured out of him effortlessly. The ultimate lesson here is that competence follows courage, not the other way around.
Wow.
You have to risk the messy beginning to uncover the hidden rhythm.
Competence follows courage. That perfectly wraps up the journey we took today.
It really does.
We decoded the mechanics of rhyming through the eyes of a frustrated rock. We saw how the brain needs absurd visual anchors like our bear eating an eclair to process abstract sounds.
Unforgettable image.
Truly. We laughed at Ricky's accidental poetry, which proves our brains naturally crave and produce rhythm when we just remove the anxiety of a deadline.
And we broke down some really great real-world strategies for tapping into that rhythm in your daily life.
Yes. Using your environment to point at things and remove the terror of the blank page. Asking for favorite rhymes to lower the emotional stakes.
And learning to embrace the messy, made-up words like mouthin' as vital experiments.
Plus, we saw how adapting hidden object games builds rapid cognitive flexibility. We usually expect learning to be this clean, structured, binary thing.
But real growth relies on trusting that the structure will reveal itself naturally, provided you allow yourself the freedom to just play with the raw material.
So as you go about your routine today, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. If you, like Ricky, possess an innate rhythm or a hidden talent that is currently being masked by this heavy artificial pressure to get it right on the first try, what brilliant accidental poetry might you create in your own life if you just stopped worrying about the assignment, embraced the messiness, and dared to begin?
That is the real assignment right there.
It really is. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Go out there, find your rhythm, and we'll catch you next time.